When I was young, there was not even, I didn't even know the word transgendered, or I didn't know why I felt this way, so I did everything to basically run away from it, literally. And it worked for me. Every story in my community is different. And it worked for me for many, many years, but it never, ever, ever, ever went away. I remember Kate Bornstein asking my two girls, Kendall and Kylie, asked her the question, when did you know you were a girl? And Kylie looks at her and goes, God, nobody's ever asked me that question before. And so Kylie and Kendall are sitting there thinking, and then when did I know I was a girl? And they're thinking about this and they're thinking about that. Well, Kendall goes, I'm a little bit of a tomboy, but I thought it was great. You know why? Because that was the first time my kids ever thought about gender, okay, and about who they are. And that same thought goes through a trans person 24 hours a day, every day, 365 days out of the year. Who am I? And I struggled with it forever. Mental health, by far, is the biggest issue. We have come a long way physically to be able to make a transition, to be able to go from one sex to the other. It's pretty amazing what the doctors have been able to do. So that is the easy portion. The bigger problem is the psychological side of this, especially for trans youth. With the amount of exposure that the transgender community has gotten over the last 15, 20 years, with the development of the internet changed the game. All of a sudden now, when I was a young person, there was no information out there. I was alone. Today, a young trans person can go on the internet and find out everything, and probably more than they need to know. Find out everything that's going on out there and figure out, wait a second, this is who I am. The mental stability for these young people is by far the most difficult thing. We have a 9 times higher suicide rate, primarily than the general public, primarily with ages under 21. Under the age of 21, 41% of all trans people attempt suicide, okay? It is extraordinarily high. Bullying is huge. Now, what comes about? Because of the internet, online bullying, which is even more devastating for these young people. And in some cases, we even have, say to North Carolina, government coming down on them and saying, you can't be who you are. You have to go in the bathroom that your birth certificate says you are, okay? So there's a lot of issues for that. So the mental health of the trans community is by far the most difficult. I struggled with it all my life. There was only one time where I ever contemplated and thought about suicide. And it was probably at my low point. This was a few years ago. I was doing ways that I could sneak around and do a few little things to make me feel better about myself. I hated my Adam's apple. So I thought, you know what? Even though the tabloids and everybody's following me, I could sneak in, do a little shave. It's nothing. They'll never notice, okay? So I went through it. And of course, as I walked out, I did it at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning at the office. It takes like 45 minutes. It's not a big deal. I was out of there by like 9:30. But it looked like the security guard called the paparazzis. And when I came out, my assistant came up to the back door in the alley. And in the 2 feet from walking from the doctor, and I had a thing up, but you could see a little bit of a bandage right here. In that 2 feet from getting in the alley into the car, we never saw him, but a paparazzi got a picture, okay? All hell broke loose. TMZ is calling, everybody. I'm going down the highway and Harvey Levin's on the phone from TMZ. I've got this picture, we're gonna run it, on and on and on. And I said, Harvey, don't do it, okay? Why? Because it ruins my life and it ruins my family's life. Don't come up with this story. And he ran it the next day, and I knew he was gonna do it. That night, when I knew this story was coming out the next day, I'm thinking, it's over. They're gonna go crazy on me. And I couldn't sleep. I'm in my house in Malibu, and I'm walking up and down the aisle, or up and down the hallway, back and forth all night long, thinking, oh, God, it's just the next couple of weeks, you know, it's going to be horrible. And I thought, you know what the easy way to do? I got a gun in the house. The easy way to do is to go in there and boom, end it, you know? And that was kind of the easy way out at that point. And obviously, I didn't do it. And the next day, I was into remote control helicopters, and I'm in this open field all by myself. And I put the helicopter down, and I went for a walk. And I just thought to myself, wasn't that stupid last night that you would actually think of something like that, that would actually cross your mind? And I thought, I don't want my story to end that way. I've done all these wonderful things in life. I've raised a great family, the games, all that sort of stuff. What a horrible way to end my life. And it was the beginning of the turning point, saying, hey, if the worst thing in life is that I'm trans, okay, I can handle it.